Hey there, viewers, and welcome to Get Well, Stay Well, live and interactive on Revelation TV. How are you doing today? I hope you're keeping well. And as every week, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by our lovely Felicity. How are you doing?
Hi there, sir. I've had a wonderful weekend, thank you. And I love our Christmas decorations. Really been beginning to feel Christmassy now, and it's really exciting. So over the weekend, I found a lovely Spanish church.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to be going there because they run it in Spanish, and I'm trying to learn Spanish, as you know.
Very
good. So very international. It's the most growing church, I think, down here. Very exciting.
Very good.
And so had a lovely weekend with some Spanish people. And I'm really thrilled that we're going to be doing a great program today. Really exciting. From my post bag, I've got one to start with here from Penelope. And she says, an acquaintance has sadly been diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh.
They have told her it's incurable. Is there any possibility that your plant-based diet can help her? Love your programs on Revelation TV. I've learnt so much. Blessings, Penelope. So I wrote back to her and said, nothing is ever incurable, you know.
Yeah.
And when people detox, as I have done.
You're the living testimony, aren't you,
When
Felicity?
they detox, restore the deficiency of the living enzymes that put the minerals, the vitamins back into their bodies.
Yeah.
When they rehydrate the body with our beautiful juices, and they address stress, which we do through our faith in God.
Yes.
Then everyone can get well and stay well. So good news for Penelope. And, you know, it's lovely to be able to tell people the good news in both ways, you know, from the salvation point of view, and also getting well and staying well right now, where we are on earth doing our bit while we're here.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's...
No, it's like I said, you are the living testimony, and I think you encourage a lot of our viewers, and we have so many people who write into us every single week, just being so grateful for the information and the time that you put into our programme, because you really do so much research, don't you?
I've had a wonderful weekend of research. You know, I do love it. This is really my passion. And I'm so interested in the oils. We've got a diffuser here. I brought my diffuser down to show you.
Right, do show us.
Well, we're coming to it later in the program.
All right, viewers, stay tuned. Do stay tuned. We'll be showing this diffuser later.
It will be, it's really quite interesting. And if we can plug it in, it'll be even more interesting. But never mind. If we can't, that's fine. It just works simply with a fan. And so whatever beautiful essential oil you want to use, a citrus one, or maybe the frankincense or one of these, you can actually diffuse it in the room. So I got this, and I have it in my bedroom, which is also my office, up in the Eagle's Nest.
Yes.
And so it can either be a bar of orange or lemon, and in the evening I put on the lavender.
Lovely.
So it's a beautiful way to live. I must say, it transforms the Eagle's Nest.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So we are live, we're interactive, we're taking your text messages and your emails. The details of that are on screen. But we're going to start today's programme with something a little bit light and a little bit fun. And this is called I Charleston Porto. Let's take a look at this. Good fun there. I just want to remind you, we've just had the Our Times magazine just released. So if you do want to download that, you can do so online. Log on to www.revelationtv.com, or you can call the office 0208 972 1400, or even send an email, info@revelationtv.com. We'll be recording our Christmas special shortly. Felicity and I will be appearing on your TV sets during Christmas and on Christmas Day, actually. And according to the Our Times, we'll be on at 2 p.m. afternoon time on Christmas Day, the 25th of December. So please do tune in for that. Excellent.
I think that's great fun. I shall have the grandchildren watching, and they'll all love it. So there's actually see Granny on the TV. So that is fun, and it will be very cheering. I shall be cheering from Jersey, and you'll be cheering from Spain. Yeah, great.
Wonderful. But another item that we just showed there, it's good fun. It was dancing, but it's exercise, and it's a good combination, isn't it, Felicity?
Absolutely, and I loved my time in Portugal. I was 40 years in Portugal, and absolutely loved it there in the Douro Valley, which is where Porto, you know, Porto's on the coast, and the river comes in, the Douro River comes in from there, right the way into Spain, actually. And you can go on a boat. You can go on a beautiful boat, you know, one of those river cruises, and go right through. Absolutely stunning. It's all through the beautiful mountains and the wine. They grow the port wine there, of course.
Yeah.
The port wine is delicious, of course. It's a fortified wine, as you know.
Yeah.
Very often used for communion in the churches that have an alcoholic wine for communion. You know, now we usually have grape juice.
Excellent.
But no, Portugal's a lovely country. It's very calm, and you know, it's right on the corner of Europe. It's right on the corner, right next to the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So the fish is very pure coming in that's caught there. The seas can be quite rough, of course. Again, you've got the Atlantic rollers coming in. But down in the south where I was, it was absolutely lovely, and my husband and I were very happy there. We used to go and stay in the, what's called the Posadas,
Right.
which are like the paradors in Spain.
Yeah.
They're the government-owned hotels that have been convents or monasteries or palaces.
Wow.
And they all have great history. So it was great fun, actually, and
Brilliant.
I learned a lot of Portuguese history.
Yeah.
And tenho saudade de Portugal. How about that?
Wow.
I still miss Portugal. I have, saudade is a lovely word. It's nostalgia, a yearning, a longing. And, you know, there's this feeling that it's very, very much like home.
Well, it's, the Portuguese culture seems very similar to the Spanish culture in the way it's very homely and family orientated as well. I mean, we're living here in Spain, and you see all the families together, and that's so important as well, isn't it?
Well, I'm falling in love with Spain now, and learning Spanish, so it makes you feel much more at home. You know, I was just talking to your wife before we came on the set.
Yeah.
And I was practicing a little bit of Spanish with her, and it's not for airing yet, my Spanish. But it rather lapses into Portuguese, French, English, German, whatever word that I can remember.
Surely, Felicity, you must be able to pronounce your juices in Spanish by now.
Oh my goodness, we'll have to do a program on that. That would be fun.
Do you know any juices in Spanish?
Well, lavanda, of course, and what would the green juice? That would be a juice verde, wouldn't it? Verde.
Verde. Yeah.
I like the way at the end of the Spanish you pronounce the E on the end.
That's it.
In Portugal, we would say verde.
Yeah.
We wouldn't say verde.
Yeah.
So it is interesting, and you know, I loved Latin at school,
Yeah.
and of course both languages are Latin-based. So you can always dig back into the memory.
It's always good to stimulate the mind, isn't it? And we bring that back to health as well. And number one is keeping a positive mindset, but number two is constantly stimulating it. Because I just want to bring an example of you're going through a difficult medical situation in your life. It's very difficult to stay positive, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, you're fed a lot of bad information, misinformation maybe, and you know, I got well on the Gerson therapy, and we know that the body will always recover as long as you're still alive.
Yeah.
Even if you have problems in the liver, which is pretty dramatic because then your filter has broken, like the filter in the car. But even so, the immune system that God has given us in all his infinite intelligence, you know, He's given us this immune system that does work, and things like the minerals and the oils that we're talking about on these programs, they really do work, because the essential oils are actually the first medicine, of course. They were used right back at the beginning of time. It was the first thing that people did. And, you know, it says that the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nations in Revelation 22:2. In Ezekiel, it says that the fruit is for our food and the leaves are for our healing.
Very good.
So I'm so excited about the essential oils, and
we've got some
talking about them later.
Heaven minerals here as well, Felicity. I'm going to put some in. It's just a simple sachet, isn't it? Just going to demonstrate this to our viewers. So I've got a cup of water here. I'm going to just simply put it in. It bubbles.
And stir it up.
And then you stir it up, and it takes a little while, a couple of minutes, and it's good to drink. What are the benefits of the minerals, of the heavens minerals?
Well, the thing is that we've all got so depleted of the minerals, and I discovered that this year. And although I was on my organic juices and organic foods, I was still very, very low on magnesium and selenium. My heart was not in good shape. And when I was in America, I had this special scan, and they said, well, your aorta is about to burst, Felicity. I thought, that's not good news, because I'm teaching Get Well, Stay Well.
Wow.
So having done all the things that were right and detoxed, I obviously was very short of the minerals, and one of the Revelation viewers actually wrote in and said to me, have you tried these new minerals? They're plant-derived, which means they have a smaller molecule that goes into the body, and whereas we think of the rock minerals and the metallic minerals that we used to take, you know, in the big old-fashioned pills, they were never really absorbed by the body. So although I had lots of tubs of these various minerals, and I was taking them and trying to choke them down, in fact, I didn't really absorb the minerals properly until I went on these soluble ones that actually you fizz up and drink down. Yeah. Now, they also have 75 of the right minerals in the right proportion. This is quite unique.
And they taste absolutely wonderful as well. I've got the cherry flavour today.
They taste good, don't they?
And they taste absolutely lovely.
They come in cherry.
And I can see why the children would like this as well.
Yeah, my little ones love that. And, you know, it goes right into the body. Also crosses the blood-brain barrier. Now, that's another thing that the essential oils do. So this year has been amazing, really, for Get Well, Stay Well. We've really found some good things by just researching, and it's lovely that the viewers are so interested, and I get, you know, the testimonies from the viewers, which I always love, and they're telling me how it's working for them, you know, lifting depression, people are sleeping better, pain has gone, this sort of thing. So,
very good, Felicity. I'm just going to read a couple of the emails. Thank you very much for sending in the emails in already. Greetings, Si and Felicity. I understand stevia can vary a lot in sweetness and bitterness. Yeah. Can Felicity please tell me which brand she uses and where she gets it from? And that's from Elizabeth.
Oh, well, Elizabeth, I can't tell you which brand I'm using, quite honestly. I bought it in the health food shop here in Spain. I've also got one in Jersey that I bought from the health food shop. Without actually checking and looking at the labels, I can't tell you which ones they were. But stevia was introduced to me in America when I was training. It is healthier than agave syrup, and of course than the aspartame and all the sweeteners that you know, have been marketed so much, because they're actually worse for us than having good old plain sugar from the sugar cane. So again, it's counterfeit food. Everything's been counterfeited. But the stevia actually comes from a green plant. I'm growing it now in my garden, in my little garden up the top there. And it's a lovely green plant, and it's very, very sweet. So you only need a tiny drop.
Wow.
You know my hot drink, which is the sort of signature drink I like, the hot honey, lemon and ginger.
Yes.
So instead of doing the honey now, if I have people with diabetes or people who want to keep off the animal products, because honey is an animal product, so I just put a tiny drop of stevia in the glass of the hot water, the fresh ginger, which we've chopped up and diffused in the water.
Yes.
And a little bit of the ginger, which of course gingers everybody up.
Yeah.
So honey, lemon, ginger. and the stevia can take the place of the honey. But it's a wonderful drink. It's very refreshing and invigorating. So it's a good health drink to have instead of the dreaded tea and coffee, which
Wonderful.
we've all been addicted to.
Claire from Glasgow has written into us. I'm new to the channel. Someone recommended watching you. Can you please give me some pointers? First of all, welcome to the channel, Claire. And this is a question she has. She says, I have adrenal deficiency and I want to take the sizzling minerals and fizzy vitamins. I'm on hydrocortisone. I take it this is okay. I'm addressing my stress and eating better.
Well, what we always say is first check with your doctor. Always, because we have to be really, really careful that you don't hurt yourself in any way, and it's always best to check with a doctor, hopefully one who's into natural medicine and will understand. Certainly, I think most doctors realize we are deficient of minerals, and so you're on medication already, you must discuss it with him and do your research. Go on their website. They have a very good website, and go on the website and see exactly what's in it. Take a copy, you can print a copy of that off, take it to your doctor and say, do you think it's a good idea if I have these 75 plant-based minerals, because they're so much better than the metal or rock ones. And anyway, Claire, it's great to have you with us, and I hope that you're going to get well and stay well.
Okay, fantastic, Felicity. One of the items that I'd like us to move on to is genetically modified foods. Just give us a little brief description. What are genetically modified foods?
Well, you know, years ago, Howard interviewed Jeffrey Smith, and I watched that, and I thought, my goodness me, our food is going to be more and more genetically modified and cause more and more disease. And lo and behold, that is exactly what's happened. And so we have a Dr. Stephanie who's coming on in a moment to talk about the genetically modified foods and what she thinks is happening with our health, why things are deteriorating so much. You know, it's not usual that people are under the weather. It's not usual. We used not to feel like this before. But recently, in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, with all the processed foods and increasingly genetically modified foods, fruits, vegetables, you know, you can be so misled by thinking that things are genuine, that you're buying, you know, a beautiful tomato, in fact. And now with genetic modification, you know, there's a fish gene in there as well. You know, everything is mixed up, and the Bible warns about counterfeit things. So I think we have to get back to the natural God's foods. And, interesting to hear what she has to say.
Let's have a look at this then. This is Stephanie Sennett, and she's being interviewed about genetically modified foods.
One of the things that you talk about is modern farming practices and genetically modified foods, the use of pesticides. They're supposed to increase production, keep costs down. What do you see the reality of those practices, though?
I mean, I think it's going to be a disaster in time. It's just a matter of time. They're basically destroying the soil bacteria, depleting the minerals in the soil. Because of the pesticide, the herbicide in particular is something I've really zeroed in on, and this concept of engineering a plant to be resistant to an herbicide that otherwise kills all plants, and doing that by inserting a bacterial gene. I mean, first of all, that's extremely not natural. But what's worse than that is that now you can just indiscriminately spray the chemical on the plant, and the plant soaks it up and doesn't die, and so it ends up in the food chain. So I think that is a really serious problem, particularly when it's combined with the concept that the herbicide is harmless to humans. So when you believe it's harmless to humans, you're careless with it, and you end up with a lot of it in the food that you don't look for, and then people are getting slowly poisoned and they don't know it, and no one's willing to believe that that's going on, because the industries have so thoroughly convinced everybody that it's safe for humans that people don't worry about it. That's a really insidious, terrible situation that we're in. And of course, the soil is getting ruined. We're losing all the important, the humus, I mean, the bacteria are getting destroyed in the soil. That's messing up all kinds of things. The bacteria are really important for the plants to help them to absorb nutrients. So the plants become depleted in all these minerals due to the effect of glyphosate on the bacteria. And then we become depleted as well because we eat plants that are nutritionally impoverished. And once we're depleted in minerals, then all kinds of different things go wrong.
You mentioned in time it's going to be tragic. Are we already seeing
I think it's
signs of
already
that?
tragic, but it appears that people go about their business happily,
Yeah.
knowing that everybody they know has some kind of problem, and they're like, oh yeah, that's normal. You know, they don't realize it's not normal.
What are we seeing now that you think is attributed to that?
Oh, lots of things. Of course, autism is the one I was really interested in. I took upon myself the mission of trying to figure out what in the environment was causing autism about 7 years ago. And I started learning everything I could about autism and then examining all these different chemicals that, that we know to be toxic, aluminum and mercury and lead and all these different toxic minerals. I was sort of looking at those and felt very dissatisfied because I saw things going on in autism that I couldn't explain, looking at the biological effects of these toxins that I was examining. And so this is why when I heard 2 years ago, I heard Don Huber talk, and he's been tirelessly campaigning about the dangers of glyphosate. Glyphosate, of course, is in the herbicide Roundup, which is the most used herbicide on the planet, and that's because of its perceived non-toxicity to humans, combined with this ability to engineer these plants. So they've got this corn, soy, canola oil, sugar beets, cotton, tobacco, alfalfa, all engineered to be Roundup ready, which means that they don't die when you spray them with Roundup. And that allows them to just run the airplane over the crop and spray it all over the place and not worry about it, particularly because they think it's non-toxic. So that's, once I heard Don Huber explain what glyphosate does, all of a sudden I could explain all the problems I was seeing in autism that I couldn't explain before.
Very interesting there. One of the points that you mentioned, how the pesticides are very dangerous for humans. Explain us a little bit about that.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is that they're being passed off as being okay. And this is a very political thing. And, you have to go on YouTube and just research for yourself and see how this came about. Because this Roundup, this glyphosate, was banned for a long time. And then politically, somebody in very high power, Donald Rumsfeld, I think it was, Secretary of State, was on the board of this particular company, and suddenly it was all okay, we can use this now. Right. And this is exactly what's happened. So it's now being sprayed all over the place. And just as Jeffrey Smith said years ago, and Dr. Stephanie is saying, it's causing a lot of sickness. But Si, there's something called cognitive dissonance. It's where people don't want to really wake up to the truth. They don't want to know because it's so frightening, it's so worrying that people say, oh, well, I really don't want to bother with that. I'm so busy, quite honestly, I haven't got time to think about that. But we're talking about the future generations, because what we eat and drink pass on to our children, pass on to the grandchildren. It's the women who are pregnant now who are eating the GM foods who are going to reap this horrible reward.
Well, I think the danger we also have is the more we go on down the generations, we're becoming more busy with our lives, and we have less time to look after ourselves and look after our health. And so our food tends to change. We're looking for more convenient foods to take.
But what's
we're not
more
looking
convenient
after ourselves
than unzipping a banana?
Absolutely
there,
right.
That, quite honestly, there's no excuse, because eating an apple, just having an apple in the car, having some nuts, some beautiful almonds or cashews.
Exactly.
I mean, they are healthy foods. And really, there's no excuse saying we're too busy. And also, I spent years and years cooking all this food for my family. And when we cook food, we lose the living enzymes, of course. And so, really juicing and coming back to the raw foods, eating the fruit that Ezekiel says, the fruit is for our food. Yeah. That was the food that God gave us in the Garden of Eden. The fruit, vegetables, herbs, seeds, nuts, and green plant. Yeah. How much easier it is, and quicker, and healthier. And the thing is, when people say, oh, a man needs to have lots of meat and protein, in fact, you need vegetable protein is so much better. Yeah. Plant protein is so much better. And Dr. Esselstyn Caldwell, who we've had on various programs, he's a cardiologist, top cardiologist, says that people wouldn't have heart disease if they went on plant food. His son, who is a top triathlete and now a fireman, lovely guy
Yeah.
who says, you know, he's getting all the all the crew who are in the firehouse got high cholesterol. A lot of people drop dead, and they drop dead of a heart attack, and the fire people are called out to help. And a lot of these firemen drop dead literally while they're on call, because they have to run, they have to suddenly exert themselves.
Yeah.
And if their arteries are blocked, they're going to have a heart attack. So this guy is entirely on plant-based food.
Amazing.
And he looks amazing. He actually goes up that pole, do you remember, in the firehouse?
Yes, exactly.
And he says, real men eat plants, and he
Yeah.
goes up, not even using his legs,
Yeah.
but just literally with
the
the
arm muscles, yeah.
Really strong.
Fantastic.
And I know a lot of top triathletes who are now entirely plant-based.
Wonderful. We're going to just read some more emails out. Hi, Si and Felicity. Thank you for your programme. Really appreciate you. I've recently been told my blood pressure has been rising, which is hereditary in my family. Could you recommend what I can take to help me with this, as I do not want to take medication? That's from Joan.
Right, Joan. Well, the blood pressure will come down when you resort to the plant-based food, just as we were talking about there with Caldwell Esselstyn, who is a cardiologist. So, you know, it's not what Felicity says, it's what these cardiologists say, and what science has proved. So you don't need to have the meat and the dairy and the animal protein, and your blood pressure will come back to normal. So I hope that that's going to help you.
Wonderful. Jazz has written in to say, hi both, lovely programme. Where can I get the stevia plant from so I can grow it at home?
Okay, well, you'll have to find out from your local nursery, and do grow it, because obviously then it's free. Okay.
Wonderful. I'm just going to go through some more emails,
Okay.
if I may, Felicity, if you don't mind. What does Felicity think about corn? And that's Q-U-O-R-N.
Yeah, well, that's a synthetic meat. It's made from soy. Now, soy, as we heard last week with Dr. Edward Group, is one of the highest genetically modified foods. So really, it's not very clever to give up meat and to move on to something that's genetically modified. It's a step on the way, but it's not an ideal step. And what I would do for having replacement for meat, I would have you know, mushrooms. You can do mushroom steaks, which are absolutely delicious. Get those big mushrooms. You can use eggplant. You can use sweet potato. You can use ordinary potatoes, lentils, walnut burgers. You know, you can make these nut burgers that taste really good. In fact, some people do that for Christmas. They have a nut roast.
Yes.
So there's lots of alternatives, and you don't have to have the meat. And I certainly wouldn't start going for the synthetic meats. The processed meats are really bad for us, as we know, the sort of pink slime, you know. I've just been researching a film that shows just the cruelty to the animals, cruelty to the chickens, the poultry, and when sausages and processed meat are made, that pink is the blood, of course, and it's just all genetically modified, it's all processed, it's a disgusting thing. And really, you know, why eat anything else but beautiful plants that God has given us? A cauliflower steak is lovely. That's another one I do. Cauliflower steak. Just cut the cauliflower and prepare it. Always with lovely sauces and herbs.
Oh, that's interesting. What sort of sauces do you put with that?
Well, of course, I'm a great garlic fan. I love garlic with everything.
Yeah.
Garlic and real butter, because real butter is much better for you than having the trans fats and the marketed, you know, spreads. They call them spreads.
Yeah.
Your best spread, of course, is an avocado, a beautiful ripe avocado, and just spread that.
Fantastic. I wonder, something that was mentioned on the clip that the item that we showed previously about the genetically modified foods, it can also cause autism, is that right?
So the doctors say, yes. And certainly there's such an epidemic of autism. You know, it used to be very rare, and now they're saying that, you know, every 1 in 5 baby boys is going to be autistic, which is unbelievable.
Incredible.
But this is not my statistic again.
Yeah.
People must go on the internet and check it out and see what these doctors say, because they're dealing with it all the time. You know, there's Dr. Russell Blaylock, who we featured a lot.
Yep.
He's a brain surgeon,
Right.
and he was so sickened by the amount of brain tumors and autism in children that he's actually now basically educating people.
Amazing.
He's going around the country. And of course, as a brain surgeon, he has a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
So it's for these experts who've, you know, really got enlightened to really spread the word. And we just literally pick up this research, and I love to be able to share these things so people can get well and stay well.
Looking at some more emails, please do continue to send in your emails and text messages, and we'll try and read as many as we can out. Maury sent us a lovely email. God bless you both. You're a blessing, Felicity. God is using you greatly. I'm 74 and learning so much from you, and I am now healthier.
Oh, that's
from
lovely.
Maureen.
Well, that makes two of us, Maureen. Bless you. A good age to be. Aren't we lucky? And we've learnt so much. That's a great thing.
Dory's written in to say, hi Felicity, what's good for getting rid of sciatica? I already take fresh ginger daily, and that's from Dory.
Well, Dory, the first thing I would do is go and get checked out by a chiropractor or an osteopath, somebody who really understands about the bones and the relationship of the joints and how things are working in your body. You can have a thermogram, of course, instead of the usual x-rays, which will see exactly what's happening in your body, where the inflammation is. If something is out of place, then even your beautiful dart won't get it right. So sometimes we need to manipulate the spine back into perfect shape, do some exercises, keep warm, and you know, hot baths are very good as well. But sciatica is a horrible pain. It goes right down the back of the leg, and can be really awful. So I hope that you get some help before Christmas.
Text messages come in, Felicity. Please, can you tell me what should I eat? I am very anemic.
Okay, so if you're anemic, you need lots and lots of the green plant. And my friend who runs the organic shop locally was a very anemic little girl, and so she got herself well with the green plants, and that's why she now has an organic shop, and she's getting other people well. So you see, the hemoglobin in our blood is only one molecule away from the chlorophyll in the plants. So when we have these beautiful green plants, like spinach, like kale, you know, on the leaf you can actually see the veins. That's the lifeblood of the plant. That's what we need to get into us. And so an easy way to do that, of course, is to juice. And the wheatgrass is particularly good as well for building up the blood picture again. So, you know, we have to have healthy blood. In the Bible it says that the life is in the blood. And we have to have our blood healthy and strong. And so beetroots are very good as well.
Very good. Good link over there, Felicity. What a pro. So let's take a look at our next item. This is talking about the benefits of beet juice. Let's have a look.
Superfood Evolution presents the benefits of beet juice for super healthy blood. What are the benefits of beet juice? Many people are familiar with the red beet root, but did you know that this common produce market vegetable contains some pretty potent nutritional components you might not know about? The beetroot is a superfood veggie, very beneficial for lowering blood pressure, increasing athletic performance, purifying the bloodstream, improving cardiovascular health, and reducing inflammation in the body. You can eat raw beets, and there is also some nutrition in cooked beets, but it's actually the raw pressed beetroot juice, the extracted juiced liquid, that produces the greatest health-enhancing effects. When vegetables are juiced, they are 10 times more nutrient-rich because their nutritive compounds are highly concentrated. As a result, this bright red juice contains substantial amounts of antioxidants, naturally occurring nitrates, betaine, and iron, all super healthy ingredients that beets are particularly high in. From the Middle Ages, beetroot was used as a treatment for a variety of conditions, especially illnesses relating to digestion and the blood. The benefits of beet juice. Beets and the blood helps to lower blood pressure. There is no food closer to the color of the blood than the juice of a beet. And as it turns out, beets are an exceptionally great food for an overall healthy bloodstream. According to a study in the American Heart Association's journal called Hypertension, drinking a cup of beetroot juice daily may help lower blood pressure. Participants who consume this amount daily experienced an average 10-point decrease in their blood pressure levels over a 24-hour period. This sparked the new phrase in health headlines, "A cup of beet juice a day keeps the doctor away." High blood pressure, directly linked to cardiovascular disease and strokes, affects more than 77 million adults in the U.S. The benefits of beet juice and its nitrate content may be an easy dietary adjunct for many Americans. Beetroot is high in nitrates. When some people hear the word nitrate, they think of the chemical preservative sodium nitrate, a known carcinogen often found in hot dogs, bacon, or lunch meat. Beets are naturally high in nitrates. However, these substances are quite different than synthetic nitrates. They are plant-based elements that have favorable rather than harmful effects when ingested. In fact, the phytonitrates in beetroot juice when consumed are one of the known benefits that play a significant role in reducing and maintaining blood pressure levels. Your body converts nitrate into nitric acid in the blood, which helps to open up the blood vessels and normalize blood flow. There are other dietary nitrate-rich foods to consider, as well as beet juice. Dietary nitrates are also abundant in green leafy vegetables, so you want to juice your beet greens as well as the root. In fact, mixing your green juicing veggies with beets is a great way to cut the sometimes intensely sweet, rooty flavor of the red beet.
Very, very informative, very interesting there. Excellent. I just want to go through some of the benefits there of the beetroot juice. Lowers the blood pressure, more importantly. Increases athletic performance, reduces inflammation in the body. There are the main points. Anything else you want to add on to that?
No, I think it's wonderful stuff, and it's really good. You can't just drink it on its own. You know, you want to put some other things with it, obviously. The beet tops are particularly good when you juice those as well. They're really, really good and very nutritious.
Yeah.
So
as Christmas is approaching, maybe some people who don't have a juicer out there might think they might put that on their wish list. Who knows?
Absolutely, it's a good idea. And people always say, "What is the best juicer to buy?"
What is the best juicer to buy?
I don't sell juices. I'd made a fortune if I'd
The Felicity Corbin-Wheeler juicer.
Absolutely, yes, it would have gone really well. But the thing is, the juicer that you will use is the best juicer for you. And so you want to look at them, see how they're cleaned, how they come apart, and you want to get a really easy one. Also one with a good strong engine, because then they will last. So some of the cheaper Chinese ones, unfortunately, don't last a long time, because of course I juice a lot of hard things like the carrots and the beets. So you need a strong motor to do that. So get one, and always remember, when you've juiced, wash up straight away, so you don't have to wash out the manky old juicer, which is awful after. Because of course it's living enzymes, so you've got to get it into your body straight away.
Yeah.
I drink my juice while I wash up the juicer.
Yeah.
And then I put it all together, ready to go again. And I think it's, you know, it's a wonderful breakthrough. The juicing's been amazing.
Yeah. Wonderful. Angela's written in to say, "Hi, Si and Felicity, thank you for your Get Well programme." And I think she's been very, very honest here, saying, "I love chips. I know I shouldn't. Which is the least harmful way to fry them? Sunflower oil, lard, or what do you think, Angela?"
Coconut oil. Coconut oil.
Coconut
and
oil.
you know, coconut oil is so good for us. It helps with Alzheimer's, it helps with all the brain things. A little bit of fried food, what we call sautéed food, is probably a nicer way of saying it. But people do love their potatoes. What I do is I fry the potatoes with the coconut oil, loads of garlic, loads of herbs.
Right.
And it makes
lovely.
a delicious meal, actually.
Wow.
I love potatoes. Then you can put a few other vegetables in as well, but very often I'll just have a lovely dish of potatoes.
So but the coconut oil is
oil
the most healthy.
It's wonderful.
So you could get a steak or a hamburger, cook it in coconut oil, and that's the healthy version.
I wouldn't want to do that. But the thing is, when you heat the coconut oil, it doesn't cause a carcinogen effect in the body, because some of the oils definitely do.
Yeah.
You know, the oils that I used to use, all these vegetable oils, and think how healthy that was, but in fact you can't heat them safely, and even the olive oil is not as good as the coconut oil. So it's the only oil I have in the kitchen now, and I use it on my skin, I use it for everything. The coconut oil is just wonderful, very healing, anti-inflammatory, it's antifungal, you know, it's antibacterial, it's analgesic as well. And of course we'll talk about the oil swilling that we do, you know, put a little bit of coconut oil in the mouth, swill it round, about 15 minutes, peace and quiet in the family, brilliant. And then you can spit that into a tissue and throw it out, because it will actually plug up a sink, obviously. But if people have got gum disease or toothache, honestly, that coconut oil will very often do the trick.
Very good indeed. Karen's written in, Karen from Bristol. Great programme as always, and thank you. Have you any suggestions for a grain-free bread substitute?
Grain-free bread. Okay, well, I like the nutty breads, the Ezekiel bread. You can try different, you know, just go on the websites, quite honestly. There's masses of breads out there. I've pretty well eliminated bread from my diet now. I certainly don't want to buy, you know, bread, just as you eat it, it turns to sugar in the body. So I think it's much nicer to have nutty things instead. I make the flaxseed crackers, as you know, with the onion and the garlic and the peppers to make it look pretty, and I dry those out in the dehydrator, and so that would be my crisp food, and I try not to have the bread. When you go to a restaurant, it's very tempting, because, you know, you sit there waiting for your food to arrive, and there's the bread. And if it's baked by the restaurant, it's fresh, and it smells wonderful, and maybe they've heated it. Well, what temptation. But, you know, we reap the consequences, don't we? So you have to decide what you're going to do. And occasionally I'll have it, but not very often.
And now, obviously, Christmas is coming up. Christmas is approaching us soon. People are going to be socialising more, going out for dinners, more dinner parties and everything else. How does one look after themselves when they go out and stay healthy, more importantly?
Well, the thing is to not to compromise. You can take the minerals with you, of course. The minerals, I've discovered, look exactly like the rosé wine. So if you have a wine glass, and you just have water, put in your minerals. People will think you're drinking rosé, so there you go. But, you know, quite honestly, at my age, I really don't care what people think anymore. I know what's good for my body. I'm not going to compromise.
Correct.
If people want an alcoholic drink, I would say an Irish malt whiskey and distilled water is the healthiest drink, because it doesn't have the acidity of the wine. The wine is very acid. I can't take the wine. Right. But if you want a beautiful Irish malt, and of course I had a lovely time in Ireland this year, where I was introduced to a beautiful Irish malt. And so if I wanted a drink, a little Irish whiskey with distilled water, you see, that's healthier than, say, a gin and tonic, where you're having the tonic, which is loaded with sugar.
Sure, absolutely.
But I take the minerals with me to a party, and I give them to myself and maybe anyone else who would like them.
Wonderful.
So
excellent,
it's quite fun.
excellent. Okay, hi, my doctor has given me an inhaler for my bronchitis. What are your thoughts on this, please?
Well, an inhaler is life-saving, and if you have asthma or you have a big problem, then certainly you're going to need that inhaler. Keep the blue inhaler by you, and it is a wonderful thing to have. If you can try and build your lung health in other ways, like drinking the wheatgrass, like inhaling, of course, with these beautiful oils. I've got these oils here in front of me, and the diffuser. Now, for people who've got a breathing problem, this is a really good thing to do. This is a diffuser. I brought my diffuser down to show you.
Yes, I think it's a great time to show. Talk to us a little bit about the diffuser.
Well, this is just a way of having the air in the room changed into really healthy air.
Wow.
So you can put, you know, the essential oils are antibacterial and antiviral as well.
Yes.
So they're also antimicrobial,
Yes.
antiseptic, antiparasitic. So when you put an oil in there, and this is not burning it, this is just a fan, so there's nothing hot about it.
Yes.
And this, you just plug it in, obviously, plug it in there.
Okay.
And you can get lots of these different diffusers.
There we go.
Very easy to use. So, as I was saying, you can put lemon or orange to invigorate and, you know, make you feel good. And at night, if you put the lavender in, of course, you would have a really good night's sleep. So I think this is really
And
excellent.
it looks very easy to use as well. It's only got one button on the front there
That's
as well,
right.
which is very good.
Even I can do that.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Even I can do that. So
Excellent.
That's good. And again, of course, it's a way of getting medicine into you. You know, the oils are the first medicines that we ever had, and it's a way of getting the oils into you without causing any side effects, because we know our modern drugs and antibiotics and all the drugs we take have a side effect, and they're damaging to the liver. But this actually gives you good oxygen. It's something called the oxygen radical absorbance capacity. How about that?
Very
How
good.
about that?
Sounds very good.
And that means that we get more oxygen into our body. So someone who has a breathing problem, this is a real breakthrough. This is really good. And I'm thrilled with my diffuser, and so I'm using it every day. So you could have one in the office. We could have one in the studio. Wouldn't that be nice?
Brilliant. Wonderful.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Okay, well, let's
Yeah.
go on to our final item for today. And this is it's a very quick and brief video, but it's introducing frankincense oils. Let's have a look at this.
One of the most prized and precious essential oils, frankincense has extraordinary internal and external health benefits. Frankincense is used for soothing and beautifying properties. Frankincense rejuvenates the skin and reduces the appearance of scars and stretch marks. As the king of essential oils, frankincense is known to promote cellular health and immunity and can be consumed daily for these internal benefits. Frankincense also promotes a healthy inflammatory response. When inhaled or diffused, frankincense induces feelings of peace, relaxation, satisfaction, and overall wellness.
Very, very good indeed. Very interesting there. It helps. Just show us, you've got some oils there, essential oils in front of you, don't you?
Yes, I have. I've got frankincense right here. Frankincense is wonderful. And for people who are ill, you can put a drop on the tongue. It's been actually, in the Ty Bollinger film, The Truth About Cancer, there were 3 people who'd got rid of brain tumours by using the frankincense oil on the tongue, on the roof of the mouth, which goes up to the brain. And because it passes the blood-brain barrier, the frankincense is, all the oils pass the blood-brain barrier. But the frankincense is really the king of the essential oils. We know that Jesus was given frankincense and myrrh as a baby. And, you know, in those days, this was the big healer and beautiful for children to have.
Wonderful.
And there are other ones, the fruity ones were really, they came in later, and they really came from the Chinese tradition. So the orange, lemon, all those beautiful citrus ones.
And more importantly, these essential oils, they help to heal depression, pain relief, arthritis. It's wonderful, and I really do encourage our viewers out there. We're blessed with the wonders of the technology and the internet and everything else. Why don't you go on the internet and do your own research, and really, rather than believing what me and Felicity has to say, go and find out for yourself. It's wonderful, isn't it? That's how you find out all this information.
That's
as well.
right. And for anyone with breathing problems, there's one that is a breathe easy one here. That's very good. And eucalyptus. You know, if we stand in a eucalyptus grove of trees,
yes.
you get this wonderful air that helps clean the respiratory tract. And so all these things are so good, and they're all natural.
Wonderful.
They're not going to do any harm.
Wonderful. Okay, let's just go through some of the emails before we end the show. This is from a viewer. Is it okay to take these minerals if you have type 2 diabetes and angina?
Well, it would help both those things, but always, as we say, when people are not well, they must go to their doctors, check it all out with them. But I can only tell you that the testimonies I have are really good on that, for both those things.
My lovely physiotherapist got rid of my sciatica that plagued me for many years. Thank you for your program. God bless. And that's from Evelyn.
Oh, that's wonderful, Evelyn. Yes, a good chiropractor or osteopath can save an awful lot of pain.
Okay.
Because we don't want to be taking painkillers, which have such a bad effect on the body, if we can just go and get it put right naturally. Always better.
Brian's written in to say, is there any limit to the amount of green juice that we have each day?
Well, as much as you can drink, Brian. I mean, it's great stuff. And, you know, when we were training, we did just have the green juice and wheatgrass and green salads. We lived on that and we felt absolutely wonderful.
Brilliant.
So make that the basis of your diet and do as much as you can.
Jay has written in to say, I've just recovered from a mini stroke. Can you recommend a good diet?
Oh, a mini stroke. Poor Jane. Well, Jane, it's all written down on my Get Well, Stay Well course that you can download. It's basically going back to God's wonderful Genesis 1:29 and 30 diet, and of course addressing the stress, certainly putting in the minerals, because very often we have a stroke because we are so depleted of the minerals, especially the magnesium. So get onto all that and email me. If you can come on a course, that would be lovely. I've got a course starting in December. I've also got courses in January and February. So love to meet the viewers. But basically you can get all the intelligence and all the information in 22,500 words that I've written out, which I do update from time to time. And also I do a phone consultation. And I found that really good, because when people can't travel, they want a one-to-one with me, so then they can tell me what's been going on in their lives, that in half an hour we can sort most things out.
Okay, wonderful. Someone, Catherine from Southern Ireland, wants to ask, how can she purchase the minerals and also a colonic set?
Okay, my newsletter is going out tonight at midnight, so get your newsletter. Just go and register on my website.
Which is?
Which is felicitycorbinwheeler.org. The colonic kit is available on that. And you get the minerals from a different firm. It's called heavensminerals.com, and they will send to you. Yeah.
Wonderful, Felicity. We have come towards the last 30 seconds of the programme, and I keep refreshing all the emails and they're still coming in. Thank you so much indeed for sending in all your emails. Sorry if we didn't get a chance to read them all out during the show. If you do want to ask Felicity a personal question, then do send her an email, felicitycorbinwheeler@gmail.com. Felicity, as always, thank you so much indeed for joining us, and thank you to our lovely viewers. Do remember that we have a Christmas Day special on the 25th of December at 2 p.m. Do tune in and do watch that. You'll absolutely love that programme, I'm sure. And do remember, you can watch us online, revelationtv.com. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us today, and if you enjoyed the programme, why not tell a friend? Thank you so much, and thank you very much to Felicity once again. Take care, God bless, and have an amazing day. See you later. Bye.